Hey there, everyone. My name is Christian. I'm the Chief Sales Officer here at SlideHub, and welcome to the Q4 webinar about the product updates at SlideHub. I'm going to be your host today, meaning that I'll monitor the chat, make sure that if you ask any questions in the question tab, or if you write a comment in the chat, that we will bring that up. I have a little bit of housekeeping here for the beginning. So Anders will be the main speaker today, and me and Rune have different roles. I know Rune has a very interesting customer case that he will share a little bit later, so that you can look very much forward to. There's a lot of nice details there. Rune, he's if you don't and haven't met him, he's our one of our co-founders here at SlideHub. He looks after all our customers, so he has a very close collaboration with most of the people out there that are working with SlideHub. And I look after our new customers and make sure that it's a good experience buying SlideHub. If you would be a new customer, then you probably met me in that process. Short about me, so I've worked with the startups and the scale-ups out of Copenhagen over the last many years. I've had the pleasure of working with both Trustpilot and 23, and Acutix 23 is actually our new webinar platform. So we've upgraded to that, which is really nice. Since last time, we're no longer running our quarterly product update in Teams. Now it's in 23, which is really nice. It has a lot of nice functionality. And one of those functions is actually the possibility to run a poll. So I actually wanted to start by doing that. So let me just click the button here and start the process here. So in the chat, you will see that there's this possibility to tell how you are actually using SlideHub today. So use cases, and of course for us it's interesting to hear what is the use case. Maybe it's all of them, but just to get like a good understanding of how SlideHub is used. Anyways, while you are doing that, I wanted to let me just see if I can get it over here. Yes, just go through the last pieces of the housekeeping. So this is live, as you can probably feel and experience. We'll record the webinar. So if you need to run off, or if you have a colleague that this would be relevant for, you can always just send them the link, and they will be able to rewatch the webinar. Also, if there's something that you would just like to rewatch later, that is also always a possibility. In the end, there's a Q&A session. So if you have a question or something that you are thinking about, then just add them into the chat or into the questions tab. Then I will make sure to go through those. But I think that's it for today for the housekeeping. Quickly on the agenda. So we'll be running through the 2025, what happened and where we're going. Then we are diving even more into the AI area. Last product update, we were also very focused on the AI area. We'll go even further there. We've done a lot of product development, and there's a lot more coming in the next few weeks and months. Then very detailed on some of the products that has been launched. We, for example, have the company data that Anders will go into. We're going to run the customer success story just to show you what's actually possible with SlideHub and how you can get a lot of value out of the tool. And then, roadmap for Q1, and there's some Q&A. With that, I will give the words to Anders. Give me 1 second here. I just need to find you here in the webinar. There we go. Hi there, Anders. How are you doing?
I am doing pretty well. Thank you so much, Christian. And thanks for all you who's listening. As it says on the slide, I'm Anders. I'm one of the 3 co-founders of SlideHub. I am also a girl dad. As you can see from the background behind me, I got a call exactly 1 hour and 5 minutes ago that our oldest daughter is unfortunately sick, so I had to rush home, change location and do this from home. So I hope you'll bear with me if I doesn't come across as prepared, or if my daughter all of a sudden like jumps into the screen. Anyways, besides that, I'm a former consultant, worked a little bit in private equity, but more than all of those, I'm also like a lifelong nerd and been building my own computers and websites and stuff since I think since as far as I can remember, basically. And today I kind of get the opportunity to combine those things a little bit by being both the representative of the overall company as a CEO, but I'm also spending a lot of time on the product. Cool.
Thank you, Anders. I think we have a lot of results on the poll, so I'll just close it down and actually bring it in here to the main screen, if I can do that like this. So this is the way people are using SlideHub. Is that a surprise to you, or?
Let me just see here. Centralizing. To be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that the centralization of slides and templates is not higher on this one. I mean, it's definitely been one of the key things. What I'm really happy to see is that the AI functionality is already an important part of people's work. So yeah, a little bit of surprise there, but it's always good with new insights. So happy to see that the stuff we built is being used.
Nice. Okay, I'll give you the screen back here, and then you can just continue.
Thank you very much. All right. Another sort of insightful update on SlideHub, not so much the product, but the organization, is that this quarter, or particularly this month, is also we're welcoming our new CMO, Andreas. Andreas has been doing SaaS for almost 10 years more than me and the rest of the team, and been leading some really successful marketing organizations. He will, for those of you who are existing SlideHub customers, you might likely get an email from Andreas at some point asking to do a quick interview to understand you a little bit better, why you buy support SlideHub, and so forth. So now you're sort of warned that he might contact you. Other than that, just before I jump into the product update itself, if you find all this stuff related to SlideHub relevant and you want to get even more SlideHub content, then Christian has recently convinced me to do a weekly post on LinkedIn. Andreas is trying to make it a free post a week kind of thing, so I'm trying to really put myself out there. So if you think that stuff is interesting, want to like hear more about SlideHub and how it is to run a 10-year-old scale-up, then find me and connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to connect, and yeah, happy to reach out for anything else as well. Cool. All right, so let's look at 2025. Somehow it already feels like it's a long time ago, but let's dive into it. Overall, if we have to wrap up sort of 2025 in 3 concepts, then one thing we did a lot of in 2025 was helping our customers automate their presentations and also their Word documents. We introduced or extended upon this concept of the presentation builder and the Word automation. We also spend a lot of time simplifying things and making it even simpler for the end users. And as part of that, we gave a lot more customization for each sort of account manager to make sure that SlideHub is just the way it should be for each of your respective organizations. In total, we did 60 product updates. Quite a few of those were AI related. So 2025 was also the first year we actually started releasing some specific AI features. If you find all this interesting as well, and you're a SlideHub customer, you sometimes see a little red dot inside the application. If you click that one, you can follow these product updates as they come live. And typically it's like more than one per week, so free feel to tag along there. That was the high level of 2025. As I said, one of the big topics was AI in 2025, particularly towards the last part of the year. And for that reason, we also wanted to try to give like a high level introduction to how we think about AI and SlideHub, but then also be much more specific and say, what does this actually look like? What have we built, and what are we building, and what can you sort of expect over the coming months when it comes to AI?
Anders, I've just run a small poll around where is your organization on AI for presentation creation. So there's a few options to choose between, and while you get going on where we are going as a company, I just hope people would leave their mark and tell a little bit about where they are on this journey. So that's just running in the background while you're doing this presentation. So I'll give it back to you here.
Very cool. Look forward to seeing the results in that. Cool. All right. So on a really high level, the way we think about AI in SlideHub is a way to like fundamentally just get more return on investment from the content and the configurations and the setup and all the things that like goes into making SlideHub successful already. We then want to like combine that with AI so that this investment becomes even more no regret or even higher return for those of you who to decide on going that path. That's very consultancy like kind of thing of saying. So what does this actually mean? So the way we think about it is for the account managers, this is a matter of being able to provide your colleagues with a way of using AI that is sort of fits within sort of the governance of the organizations. And by governance, we mean both in terms of the brand, but also in terms of the content. So you can give them a tool that is, ideally really simple to use, but that sort of automatically, without them having to do a lot of extra stuff, just leverages the content of SlideHub, but also all the brand assets and all the things you put into it. So that's one piece. The other piece is that we want to use AI as a way to make the life of a content manager on SlideHub easier. We'll show you an example of that in a minute, but we think there's a lot of ways where AI can help with classifications or other aspects of creating a good library. For the end user part, we still want to make sure that things are really, really simple, but we do also see that AI can bring some new value from the existing assets. So one of this is the knowledge search that I'll present in a bit, but it's also of course the ability to just create new slides really, really quickly in a way that is on brand and also on content for the respective organization. So that's sort of the high level thing. It's really about getting more value from the investment you have already done. All right. Cool. So what the hell does this actually mean in terms of features? All right. So in 2025, we have released the first 3 sort of larger AI features. We have enabled library managers to use AI for categorization of images and icons. This basically, instead of you manually have to go through each image and icon, the AI can now suggest which of the existing categories might be relevant for an image, or it might also suggest, new tags for an image and icon. These things, of course, saves the library manager a lot of time, but also increases the chances of end users finding the content. Another sort of functionality is this, what we call the AI-enabled search, and it's the ability to basically ask your library questions and get sort of data-driven results back. And then the last one is what we call the text-to-slide. But sort of in the best Tesla-inspired fashion here, we're going to try to give it a live go. So that's going to be always really interesting, but we're going to see how this actually looks like. So what you need to imagine here is that I am a account manager on our fictional company called Acme Logistics. I'm sitting in sort of in PowerPoint right now, but I can also do this through the web browser if I wanted to. And what I want to do now is I want to go in and I want to try to use AI to label some of my images. So I'll go in here on the image and then I'll say suggest labels here. Then the AI is going to look at the image and it's going to come back with some suggestions. So you can see this one has already been labeled and it already fits the open fried one. So it didn't try to add it anywhere else, but you can see it now also added a tag called marine transportation. I can now sort of approve that one and then that tag becomes enabled. I can also do this with, all the other ones. I can do something here and I can maybe just kind of make this more fun. We're just going to remove some stuff here. So we're just gonna update it normally. Run the truck. Let's choose complete blank slate. Here, we go in, we run the suggestion, and then you can see it says, okay, it fits the general thing, it fits the road transport, it adds all these different things. I can then say, okay, this seems fine. Maybe I turn off shipping. That's maybe not too spot on, and transportation maybe is too general. And approve it, and then this has been tagged. I can also do multiple things at the same time and go in and run the update the same way. So that's the first one. For now, it's only images and icons, but it's something that will be extended to slides as well over time. Cool. All right, so the next thing is that I want to use the knowledge functionality of SlideHub. Again, I am the Acme organization here, and I want to go in and I want to create a new slide, or I want to try to find some information in the library. But then instead of looking through the slides themselves, I actually want to ask a broader questions. So I can go up here, I can say AI enabled search, and can say, which services do we provide? And then what the AI does is that it breaks down that question, and then it searches the content library. And you can then see it then goes in and makes a summary of the offerings here. But what's very important is that it does it directly based on the slides. And you can actually go in and see which slide has been used for which part. You can also go in and see what did it actually do to kind of generate these things. You see these are the searches it did behind the scene. Okay, so now I have some content here. All right, now the sort of third AI feature is what we called text to slide feature. And the text to slide feature is basically like, as the name indicates, a way to take text and make it into a slide. So I can do this in multiple ways. I can write out the full content. So I could take all this content here, and it will then generate a slide for me. But I can also actually do something where I say I wanted something a little bit more high level here. I want to optimize for as like a presentation audience. And then I can either paste the full text and it will then summarize my findings to make it more presenter friendly. But I can actually also combine this with the knowledge search directly. So this could be something like create a slide about our services. And then it combines the information from before, the knowledge from the system, and to create the baseline for a slide. Then I'm getting the option to say, okay, what kind of slide layout do I like? And then it can pick something here. Let's pick this one here. And then what the system will then do is that it will take the generated slide. It will then go in and analyze the layout I've chosen, and then we'll sort of populate the slide based on my my template and my content. And it also add icons. As you can see, it's doing that right now. And it then does a final review, and then it gives us the slide. There we go. So you see that you get a summary of the Acme Logistics Service Overview. It added the icons and so forth. And then in this case, I can give it a rating, saying, well, this was actually pretty good. Maybe there's something with the icons that is not too spot on. To me, this is like a free. Icons could be better. Remember, this is a beta, so for those of you who tries this, we really appreciate the feedback, so we can make sure that the quality of this sort of gets better over time. Cool. That is what we have built so far and released in 2025. It's important to stress that it is a beta. It is something that we will continue to work on sort of over the next, probably like, I'm not sure where we're going to stop, but it is something that we will continue to work on and, you know, make more and more polished and more better and faster and so forth over time. All right. If we then look a little bit ahead, so what do we then go, like, where do we go from here in terms of like AI, then what we're going to spend quite a bit of time making the experience related to this text to slide, faster, but also build it in a way where it doesn't interrupt your flow. As a former consultant, the fact that I need to sit and wait for the slide to be generated is really like hurting my soul a little bit. So we want to build it in a way where you can continue working and work faster and make multiple options without being disrupted. So that's going to be one thing. We're going to extend it to do multiple slides. And what is also very importantly is we're going to enable organizations to rely 100% on their own designs instead of relying on the sort of core designs we have provided. And last but not least, one of the things we're going to release in the next quarter as well is the ability to take an existing slide, use some of this core functionality to redesign the slide in a new way. And of course, in parallel, we're going to keep iterating on the core slide generation and the quality. Cool.
Hi, Anders.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna steal the screen here a little bit. There's a few questions in the chat, and we also have some results that I would like to just go through. So Gigi, that's I know you played a lot of Counter-Strike, so that's a good one. We have: do the slides you select for knowledge need to have tags, or can it pull from only the slide content?
It does not need to have tags on it. The search will look in the content itself, and the content itself will be used to answer the questions. So tagging is not a requirement.
No. Then we have JB. It may be a user error on my part, but most of what I try to do using AI comes I guess my needing to redesign myself. Any training videos where I can perhaps learn to make it more seamlessly helpful? Do we have anything like that to help JB out?
I need to design myself. But I think I'm not sure I fully understand the question to be 100% on needing to design it myself. So to be honest, right at this point, we don't have a rich library of like supporting videos and trainings and best practices for this functionality because it's so early. In general, for everything we do in SlideHub, we do invest a lot of time into building, supporting materials and help videos, and we even do, end-user onboarding basically of all our clients, right? So we do really take a lot of effort into give in the do's and don'ts and so on. For this particular feature, it's like a not yet, but it will, like everything else, it will come.
Yeah, I also think there's a lot of different ways to use. I use the text-to-slide functionality maybe the most of anyone, I think, from the users. That's at least I've seen. But I use it a lot where I go through the inspiration slides as well, so that I kind of like force through what kind of design I would like for the slide that I'm building. So being a bit more layout first kind of thinking. But JB, we can always find some time. You can always reach out to the team here at SlideHub, and we'll help you to show you how you can use the tool to build things. We also have one question from TB. Will it be possible to use company visuals for the slide generation?
Yeah, that's a really good one. So that's one of the particular things that, if everything goes well, we'll release it before Monday. But let's see, it's really, really close to being there. So yeah, that's the short answer. It's going to be a big yes. It is in general. We do see there's going to be some parts of our client that's going to be, relying mainly on this sort of pre-built inspiration material, and then there's going to be other organizations that's going to, spend some time in building up like an AI sort of focused library as well. And again, something we'll most likely help them with or work with them to kind of set up. So yeah, that's a really core part of the vision we have here.
Yeah, I think also the question that just came from Gigi: will the AI functionality allow for slide curation? So if we have many company slides in the knowledge repository, could it be provided prompts to pull and organize the slides versus needing to create a new slide, basically, right?
Yeah,
but
that's a really good one. Because one of the things that you put out in the vision is this idea that we want to make sure that all the effort you do in terms of populating the library with the right slides and so forth, we want to make sure that becomes a core part of the text to slide feature as well. So one of the things that also going to be, I'm not sure whether it's going to be next week, but soon, is going to be that whenever you start creating a new slide, the system's going to check and say, hey, do you already have this thing in the system, right? So the slide I made with the services and Acme logistics, we already kind of have that slide, right? So it would be very natural that the system will kind of prompt you to use that one instead of building something new. So that's also going to be again one of these things that's really really core to have you think about where this is going.
Yeah. I'm just going to show the result here from the poll that we ran. So most people are already using AI tools to build presentations. I don't know if maybe I'm a little bit surprised that it's that many, but again, it looks like most people are actually on a journey there. Is it surprising to you, Anders?
I think if this group was the average person in PowerPoint, I think that would be a surprising high number. I think the fact that people signed up for this webinar and is excited about it, and we promoted it as an AI-related webinar, I am not that surprised to see many first movers and innovators on this call. So, but yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that number if you just asked me before.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna give you the screen back here so that you can continue the.
Very cool.
The presentation.
I'll see what I can speed up a little bit, but so this is basically what's coming in terms of AI sort of in the shorter term. If we look a little bit more broadly on SlideHub as an application, and we look at what else we got released in Q4, we did a number of different things to make workflows more sort of efficient. So for those of you who are not SlideHub customers, some of this will seem like, what are they talking about? For those of you who are, I'll just, I'm not going to go through this one in deep detail due to the time, but I'll tell you if any of these one looks interesting, make sure to visit our blog and then view the latest product updates. So you got to give a very detailed walkthrough of these functionality. Otherwise, of course, please reach out to our customer success team, and they're happy to demonstrate these one in more detail. One of the things I do want to sort of spend a little bit of time on is this idea with bulk updating of ad-management data in Excel. It sounds a little bit scary, but one of the things that I'm excited about it is that in general, one of the main functionality that existing SlideHub customers really, really appreciate is this whole idea that one slide in SlideHub can be in multiple presentations. So you can update one slide and it will automatically trigger multiple presentations to be updated, and all the relevant users will be warned about this update directly in PowerPoint or via email. So this is like a core thing in SlideHub. With the idea of admin managed data, we kind of took the idea a step further and said, okay, sometimes you update a slide because a number has changed. It can be your number of customers. It can be the year we're in. It can be number of offices or data centers or whatever you have. Those numbers are often shown on a very large number of different slides. So the idea now with admin data is that you just update the number, it then updates the slides, and that updates the presentation, which then informs everybody. So it becomes more like a one-click thing to update a number that then triggers this whole update flow. With this new feature where you can Excel update it, you can take it even further, and you can just have an Excel sheet with all your key data points. You can then upload that to the system. It will then update all the numbers, that updates all the slides, that updates all the presentations. So it's really if you have the role of maintaining a library, it's just can really be a game changer. And that naturally means that all of a sudden people in the organization start trusting the numbers a lot more, right? And you don't have discussions about how many customers is it that we have or how many data centers we have. You just know okay, it's from SlideHub. It was most likely updated. I can trust it. Yeah. So I think that's the main thing I want to highlight. And again, please visit the blog, follow along in the little red dot, and you can see all these updates coming through as we go. Then I'll pass it over to Rune. For those of you who only booked half an hour for this one and have to drop off, I just want to say thanks so much for your time. We do have a few more things regarding our roadmap as well, so please stay tuned for that if you want to. Otherwise, we'll of course send the recording. But with that, I'll pass it over to Rune.
Thanks, Anders. So the case study I want to explain is about a company named Hondays, and Hondays offers turnkey office solutions. They have a premium brand, so it's important that the visuals also are on brand and look really great. They have a large sales team as well. More than 45 people rely on SlideHub, and they have a marketing team that frequently need to update one slide in multiple presentations, as Anders also mentioned previously. So we help them revamp that template, upload all of the best cases into their library, so mood boards, case stories, product slides, etc., and help them launch internally. And this has saved a tremendous time for the sales team. We had when we were doing the case, up to 80% of the time has been freed up that was used to building presentations. And in the past, I personally thought it was really cool to be able to experience that firsthand from a person that was so positive about the product, and in general it has helped both the sales and the marketing team, but also bridge that gap that sometimes exists between those two departments in an organization. We've built this into a video as well that we can link to, and then I just want to mention that if somebody wants to be of the existing customers that would like to be a case like Hollandaise B8, feel free to reach out to us. I know that Hollandaise has got more than 50,000 views on YouTube just from us, so quite a lot of traffic being generated that way as well. That was all from me.
Okay, so thank you so much for that, Rune. Wow, that's someone really wants to get hold of you, Anders. There we go. So we had a question from Gigi, and that's around the redaction of content and imagery. Will the AI have the capability to redact and help create this knowledge material? I guess we already have something there, Anders.
Yeah, we do. We already have a sort of even like a pre-AI, like semi-AI functionality, in which when we add slides to SlideHub, it can scan it for sensitive information, like particular personal information, names or addresses or phone numbers and these kind of things, and then you can basically redact them as part of adding the content. That's been something that we had for a while. Something that originally got requested by one of our law firm customers. So that's already sort of part of it, and it's important just to sort of stress this thing that our approach to AI is very much in this concept that we will never use any customer's content for training, AIs or feeding any information back to the people who built the original model. We only use open source models where there's no data sharing or anything that's being fed back, because it is like something that is of course like of really high importance to all our customers.
Thank you, Anders. I know you have a few updates for Q1. What is going to happen? I don't know if you want to run through those quickly.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see so many of you still sort of hanging in there, even though we over time. So I'm happy to go through it. Definitely do that. Okay, cool. You already gave me the screen. That's perfect. Great. Yeah. So in Q1. We got to do a lot of things. That's the high level CEO takeaway of this slide, is that there's a lot of things on the roadmap for Q1. As you can see with the little sparkle icon in there, there's a lot of things related to AI, And like a lot of things that you guys actually asked about already in terms of AI, which is, for me, it's really, really nice to hear that the things that we are prioritizing as a product organization are also the things that comes to mind when doing these things. So that's really, really cool to see. And some of the things I already mentioned about, but what we're building, but a really big key element here is going to be the introduction of the company content, the company images, company icons, all going into the text to slide feature, but also this thing where it automatically searches for the existing slides. So that's gonna come, fairly soon. Then on the non-AI front, we have a few other things as well. One is that we are releasing an email signature. And then some people might say, what does an email signature have to do with like a slide library? But it's actually pretty interesting, because we at SlideHub already have an integration with Outlook, where you can access all your slides and all your documents and so forth. And so we already built that thing. And at the same time, we already allow people to customize their Word docs and their presentation based on their personal properties. So that could be your contact information, or of course your name or your title, or whatever the things that you would otherwise have to fill out manually through some placeholders. That stuff is already like automated away. So with the email signature, we're basically just taking the components we have already built and giving them a new purpose in the form of the email signature. And this, of course, allows brand managers or IT teams to basically make sure that they also unbrand sort of in their signature. So that's something where we're gonna be rolling it out in early February. It's one of those really cool features where we in SlideHub are the first natural customer, and we're sort of hoping that we can go live internally, maybe already tomorrow, let's see, or otherwise next week, where we'll sort of start dogfooding our own feature then. If this is something that's interesting to you, we're happy to have a dialogue and understand a bit more what your requirements are. We are doing this little bit special thing that for the first 5 to 10, 15 customers, you will actually be able to be onboarded by the lead developer who's been leading this project. We're going to have a very sort of hands-on approach to making sure everybody's successful there. So that's probably the main one I want to highlight. Other than that, there's going to be some interesting things related to the ability to use an API for building slides with our AI functionality, and various other simplifications, and just core things to our sort of product vision in general. So that's the main things. But if anybody want anything like detail out further, please feel free to mention that in the chat.
I have one, Anders, and it's around API. Actually, I thought it would also be in the roadmap, so I kind of waited with asking that question. But Nina, NH is asking if do you offer any way to programmatically access our organization SlideHub library, for example, via API, webhooks, or another integration approach? And I think it's also the other way, so you can kind of like answer both, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really good one. So we very recently, just before we wrapped up 2025, we built the basic foundation for an API layer, and we had a sort of third-party penetration test company do a specific sort of assessment of the security related to that, because that's naturally something we care a lot about. And we now have like a solution where there's like the foundation for an API is there. And now it's basically just a matter of building out like the specific API facing functionality. So if you have a specific use case in mind and are okay with being some of the first people building up towards our API, and of course that you are a SlideHub customer, or would like to be one, we would love to kind of work with you for building out more or sort of specific experiences. One of the things we will build, and the thing we put on here for certain, is this idea where you'll be able to take a large set of text content that might come from, I don't know, CRM system or whatever, research of some sort, and then turn that into on-brand presentations based on your own sort of AI asset library. That's the one very specific thing we have in mind, but I'm sure people might have a lot of other ideas that could be relevant here. So we'd be happy to work more closely with anyone out there on this one.
Nice. Thank you.
Cool. I think with that, I will pass it back to our host.
Thank you so much, Anders. We have a few more questions, so I'm just going to bring them into the screen. I have this nice little thing here where I would be able to do that. So this is from KF. Would it be possible when we finalize a proposal in SlideHub to have the option button to have all slides harmonized in British English or US English?
It's a good question, right? So you are able to, with everything that is generated through the text to slide feature, right? You are able to set like a tone of voice where you then dictate that it needs to be like British English, for example, and then it will sort of fine tune the content to encapsulate that preference. We don't have a feature right now where you just take an existing presentation and then say like, fix everything to be British English and then without touching anything else. It's not currently on our roadmap, but you never know. If we get not enough demand for it, maybe that's something we need to look into. Yeah, so it's like a yes and no answer, I guess.
Yeah. We have another one here as well for KF. I think there's one that found the question tab. Would it be possible to include some Word documents for which the content could be automatically transferred in a PPT format that would be pre-defined?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like something that is not too far away, right? I mean, right now you would have to like do some kind of copy pasting thing, but basically what this would be just a matter of maybe taking the Word documents. You already have them in SlideHub, or if you're using the SlideHub Word add-in, and then you would basically just request it to be converted into like a slide or a presentation. And of course, we cannot automatically start PowerPoint for you, so you would like generate a file you would download, but it's definitely possible, and it's technically very. Once we do the other things in the roadmap, adding this one as like an extra step would be like a fairly small thing. So it's really interesting.
Yeah. Also think this one is quite interesting. So do you plan to integrate an AI bot to support improving the content of the slides directly in the slides instead of having to use ChatGPT or Copilot to do it on the other side and come back to SlideHub to paste the text?
Yeah. In many ways, you can sort of already do that a little bit. I mean, both yes and no. Right now with the text to slide, you can actually give it an instruction, and then we can act on that. So you can give it an instruction like, build me a slide about what should we say, like the history of basketball, whatever. And then it will sort of like use like the AI bot or LLM bot or whatever to like, figure out. Sometimes you would search the internet, otherwise you'll just use the knowledge of the LLM, and it would just create the slide content, and boom. Another thing you can do is that you can do an instruction plus the content. So you can write something like, improve my spelling and grammar of this text, and then it basically does the work, and then it creates the slide for you. You will also be able to do with the feature we said like called a redesign or something like that. The feature that will also allow you to take the slide content, combine it with an instruction, and then have the slide to be remade, with the instruction sort of considered as part of the thing. So yeah, that's a long answer for saying yes, but that's just like some of the different ways that you can already do that now.
Thank you, Anders. I think in general, with all of the questions, we might get back to you like in person as well, or in a one-to-one dialogue, because there's a lot of like good ideas, and we want to like test it out and also maybe show if it's already something that's possible. And again, if you have other ideas or anything else you would like to explore, just reach out to us, and we can definitely facilitate that. Else, I think we have run 15 minutes over. I think we maybe need 45 minutes next time. But thank you so much to everyone who joined in to take part in the webinar today. And we're looking forward to continue the journey and continue building for you and seeing you in the next quarterly update in a few months. Thank you, Anders. Thank you, Rune.
Good. Pleasure.